I was reborn. Reborn on the night before I was betrothed to Li Zai. In my past life, Li Zai, in order to make my younger sister Mu Yiqing the empress, without hesitation, gave me a cup of poisoned wine, and even arranged for his personal eunuch to pour it into my mouth, watching me until I stopped breathing before leaving. Before my consciousness faded, I vaguely saw the figure of Mu Yiqing. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day before I was betrothed to Li Zai. My name is Mu Xiaoxiao. I am the eldest daughter of the Mu mansion. My mother passed away early, and my father, Mu Yuan, is the founding Grand General. In my memory, although my mother was not of high birth, she was deeply loved by my father. However, for the sake of a political alliance, not long after my mother passed away, my father was forced to marry the emperor's adopted daughter, Zhongru, and she gave birth to my half-sister, Mu Yiqing. Mu Yiqing has been the apple of my father's eye since she was a child, proficient in zither, chess, calligraphy, and painting. Her personality is just like her mother, Zhongru's gentle as water, and I am the exact opposite, unlettered, and completely clueless about needlework. A widely known good for nothing. So for Li Zai to fall for her, I don't find it strange at all. Unfortunately, in my past life, I didn't know about this, and joyfully accepted the imperial decree to marry Li Zai, becoming the crown princess. Thinking about it now, if it weren't for my status as the eldest daughter of the Mu mansion, I am afraid Li Zai wouldn't have given me a second glance in this lifetime. Let alone marry me. Looking at the familiar room before me, I felt a pang of sadness. This courtyard was where Mother lived back then. After Zhongru joined the family, she renovated the whole courtyard, and only through my coercion of crying, making a scene, and threatening to hang myself, was this courtyard able to remain in its original state. Nowade's daddy and that mother and son pair all live in the main courtyard. So this side courtyard is unusually quiet. Dawn was breaking on the horizon, and I felt inexplicably nervous. In my memory, the imperial edict for the arranged marriage would be delivered after daybreak. To refuse the marriage would be very difficult on my own. So I unhesitatingly headed towards my so-called father's courtyard. As a military general, Mu Yuan would practice his sword every morning. At this time, Zhongru would definitely not be by his side. In the silent courtyard, only the sound of the weapon swishing through the air could be heard. I respectfully walked forward. Daddy. He was very surprised by my arrival. After all, in my past life, I never took the initiative to find him. Xiaoxiao, why are you up so early? I dreamed of Mother. I carefully observed Mu Yuan's expression. In my memory, although Mu Yuan doted on Zhongru and her daughter, he never allowed them to talk about Mother. Sure enough, Daddy's expression froze. Did she say anything? I lifted a handkerchief to cover half my face. I dreamed that Mother said she hoped I would marry a scholar in the future and live the rest of my life in peace and stability. Mu Yuan was slightly stunned. It was Daddy's oversight. You've also reached the age to discuss marriage. Oh well, with your personality, marrying a scholar is also suitable. I bowed slightly. Thank you, Daddy. Then your daughter will head back first. Before Mu Yuan could speak again, I turned around and left directly. Although this daddy wasn't that great, he never neglected my basic needs in the slightest. And in my past life, Zhongru tried to sabotage her marriage with Li Zai several times, but was always stopped by Mu Yuan. Perhaps back then Mu Yuan truly thought that Li Zai was a good match. However, none of this is the point for me right now. Escaping the fate of marrying a scumbag, I carefully picked the ugliest outfit in my wardrobe, wiped all the makeup off my face, and walked confidently towards the main hall. Mu Yuan and the mother-daughter Zhongru were already eating. They never wait for me. Seeing me appear, Mu Yuan greeted me warmly. Xiaoxiao, hurry and sit down to eat. I obediently found an empty seat and sat down, my gaze sweeping over Mu Yiqing from the corner of my eye. Today, Mu Yiqing wore a pretty pink outfit, and the style of her hair bun and the vermilion hairpin on her head were both carefully selected. I gradually understood it seemed Mu Yiqing's interest in Li Zai was not what it appeared to be. After a short while, Li Zai appeared at the doorway. Mu Yuan was very attentive to this future emperor. "Zaye, what brings you here?" "Uncle Mu, I came today to ask for something." Li Zai looked at Mu Yuqing, intentionally or otherwise. Mu Yuan didn't notice at all. "What is this about asking? Let's hear it." Li Zai bowed. "Uncle Mu, Zai is unworthy, but I wish to ask for Xiao Xiao's hand in marriage to spend the rest of our lives together." I carefully observed everyone's expressions. Zhang Ru and Mu Yuan were completely shocked. Mu Yuqing looked terrible, and I had no doubt she would burst into tears the next second. "Ah, Zaye, this is a big deal for both you and Xiao Xiao. It needs to be considered carefully." Mu Yuan spoke after a moment of silence. "Uncle Mu, I am serious. I've already obtained the Father Emperor's consent, and he has personally issued an edict for the marriage. The imperial edict will be delivered soon." A hint of slyness showed in Li Zai's eyes. As soon as Li Ziye said this, everyone froze on the spot, and Mu Yiqing covered her mouth and ran off. I unhurriedly picked up my chopsticks and took a piece of food. Mu Yuan's voice reached my ears. "Xiao Xiao, since Ziye is so devoted to you, you should prepare to receive the edict." I put down the chopsticks in my hand. "Yes, father." I hadn't placed all my hopes on Mu Yuan to begin with, after all. An imperial command is hard to defy. Seeing that I agreed, Li Ziye excitedly stood up and took my hands. I expressionlessly pulled back my hands, slightly tilting my head to size up Li Ziye. This man is smiling brilliantly at me. If I hadn't been killed by him in my previous life, I might have actually believed that he was happy about marrying me. But now, all I feel is disgust. He is probably thinking about how to coax Mu Yiqing right now. Li Ziye was a little displeased that I pulled my hand back. "Xiao, what is wrong?" I forced a smile. "It is nothing. It is just that I haven't officially married into the family yet, so this isn't very appropriate." Li Ziye looked completely unconcerned. "It doesn't matter. You are my future crown princess, who would dare say anything." These words made Mu Yuan a little unhappy. The crown prince has a point, but she hasn't officially married into the family yet. A woman's reputation is precious, so it is better to be more cautious. Only then did Li Zai restrain himself a bit. I took the opportunity to stand up. "Daddy, I am done eating. I'll head back first." Mu Yuan nodded. I turned and left, but I didn't go back to my own courtyard. Instead, I chose to stay by the pond in Mu Yiqing's courtyard. With a rockery providing cover, it was unlikely that I would be discovered. Before long, Li Zai appeared in a hurry. He walked straight to Mu Yiqing's door and started knocking. "Chinger? Chinger? Open the door. Listen to me." From inside, Mu Yiqing's voice was choked with sobs. "What are you doing here? Aren't you going to marry my older sister?" Li Ziye hastily explained, "I am only marrying her to inherit the throne. The one I love is you." Mu Yiqing pushed the door open and came out, her eyes swollen like walnuts. "Ziye, then what about me? What about our child?" I hid in the shadows, quite surprised. I originally thought these two were just secretly hooking up. I didn't expect they already had a child. Watching the two of them hugging and being all clingy in front of me, I really had no interest in continuing to watch. Since Mu Yiqing is pregnant, then resolving this matter becomes even simpler. I tiptoed, preparing to leave Mu Yiqing's courtyard. However, Li Zai's next words made me stop in my tracks. "Chinger, don't you worry. When I ascend the throne, I will definitely make you the empress." "Then what about my older sister?" I almost laughed out loud. It is rare for this dear sister of mine to even think of me at a time like this. She was merely bestowed upon me by the Emperor Father's decree. I'll just divorce her in the future. These words were actually a bit unexpected for me. I had thought that Li Zai was already planning to get rid of me from this point on. I stared wide-eyed at Mu Yiqing, waiting for her next words. But I heard nothing, only saw the vicious look in her eyes. I turned to leave. If I stayed any longer, I would really be disgusted to death by these two people. After leaving Mu Yiqing's courtyard, I disguised myself and took all my savings to find Bei Xiaosheng. Relying only on my own ability or going to tell Mu Yuan were not the best choices. To completely ruin this marriage, I needed to rely on a greater power. Since Mu Yuqing had the guts to get pregnant, then I'll let everyone know just how deep her feelings for Li Ziyi are. I had imagined Bai Xiaosheng to be an old man over 50, but I didn't expect the person who showed up to be a young man. A jade crown holding his hair, his face as fair as jade. "Young lady, is there something you've come for?" I lifted my veil. He was surprised for a moment, but quickly regained his composure. "I have something I'd like your help with, sir. Please speak, young lady. As long as the price is right, I Bei Xiaosheng will take the job." The man had a smile on his lips. "The second young miss of Prince Mu's mansion, Mu Yiqing, is pregnant with her own prospective brother-in-law's child." I picked up the teacup before me and took a sip. "I admire your frankness, young lady, but this news is just too incredible. How can you prove that it is true? Bai Xiaosheng is indeed Bai Xiaosheng, so cautious and careful in his dealings. I am that unlucky eldest young miss. Do you believe me now?" I decided to be completely frank, laying all my assets on the table. Bai Xiaosheng saw the box and smiled faintly. "In that case, I will believe you this once." I couldn't help but roll my eyes. It is obviously for the money, yet he has to say it so pretentiously. "Thank you, sir. I hope you will spread this news. The more people who know, the better." Bai Xiaosheng's smile vanished. "Pardon my asking, but are you doing this to break off the engagement?" To avoid unnecessary trouble, I chose to ignore the question. "Sir, you are paid to do a job. You shouldn't be interested in the reasons why." Bai Xiaosheng said no more. I got up, said goodbye, and left. After returning to my own courtyard, I had a good sound sleep to catch up. All this trouble was really tiring. When I opened my eyes again, I saw my father's maidservant guarding the doorway. I couldn't help but exclaim, "Bai Xiaosheng's work speed is really fast." "Young miss, the general ordered this servant to take you to the main hall for discussion after you wake up." "Okay, wait for me a moment. I am going to change my clothes." Flipping through the wardrobe, I picked the plainest dress to change into. The house should be in a mess by now. To successfully call off this marriage, I still need a push from Mu Yuan. For her own daughter's happiness, Jiang Ru is very likely to use me as cannon fodder, making me serve the same husband as her daughter. But as long as Mu Yuan intervenes to stop it, there is a chance for this matter to turn around. And the way to make Mu Yuan's attitude firm is to use his pity for his deceased wife, and thus make him feel sorry for this daughter who has always been neglected. After changing my clothes and opening the door, I saw the surprise in the maid's eyes. "What is wrong? Is this outfit of mine inappropriate?" No, it is just that this outfit is a bit too plain." The maid in front of me kept her head down so I couldn't see her expression. "It is fine, I just like this one, let's go." The maid answered with a low voice, got up and led the way in front. Along the way, I encountered many house servants and maids. Although they peeked at me from time to time, they never whispered among themselves. It seems Jiang Ru manages the inner court quite well. Soon we arrived at the main hall. It was pretty much as I expected. Jiang Ru and Mu Yiqing were kneeling on the ground. Mu Yuan was sitting with his hand on his forehead, and there were shattered teacups on the floor. I carefully avoided the shards and went forward. "Daddy, your daughter pays her respects to you." "Sit down. You too, get up as well." After helping Jiang Ru sit down, Mu Yiqing directly knelt in front of me. "Sister, on this matter, Chinger has wronged you, but Zai and I are truly in love. I beg you to grant us your blessing." Before I could speak, Mu Yuan lost his temper first. "Can't you hear me telling you to sit down?" Mu Yiqing sat across from me, wiping her tears with a handkerchief. "Xiao, this matter is your sister's fault. Now, Daddy is giving the choice to you. See how you want to handle this." I scoffed inwardly. Sounds nice. If I were to make Mu Yiqing get rid of the child, he would probably turn around and blame me immediately. Daddy, since sister is in love with Zaye, then let her marry him. Besides, I am not worthy of the position anyway, so it'll save me from being gossiped about. Xiao. Don't talk about yourself like that. You and Chinger are both very good. Daddy, the best solution right now is to let sister marry him. This way, we can preserve sister's reputation and not interfere with the marriage alliance. As soon as the words left my mouth, I realized I had said the wrong thing. After all, Li Zai's marriage proposal was nominally because we were childhood sweethearts. I lowered my head, staring at the floor and waiting for what Muyuan would say next. My Xiao has grown up. She knows this marriage isn't just about one person anymore. Seeing the situation laid bare, Zhongru quickly chimed in. General, why not let Xiao and Chinger marry over together? That way they can look out for each other. What are you talking about? Two sisters serving one husband. If word of this gets out, how can I still show my old face? Muyuan was so angry that he smashed the teacup at hand once again. The general is right. Zhongru cautiously glanced at Muyuan and stopped talking. I was actually quite satisfied with Zhongru's statement. If she hadn't said this idea in front of everyone, she might have actually made it happen. Now that she has said it out loud, it has instead closed off this path. Father, I am willing to withdraw to grant my younger sister her happiness, but I don't want to sacrifice my own happiness for it. In this life, I only wish to marry an ordinary person and live the rest of my life in peace and stability. Your mother said the same thing back then. Looking closely now, you and your mother are really very much alike. Muyuan's gaze landed on me, but he wasn't looking at me. I understood that he was remembering my mother through me. Sensing another vicious gaze, I knowingly smiled faintly at its owner. Zhongru was obviously stunned when she saw my smile. Father, the imperial edict hasn't come down yet. There is still time to change the name, if this is delayed any longer. I am afraid younger sister's belly will start to show. Muyuan frowned deeply. I understood his concerns. Li Zai wants to marry me only for the Mu family's power. And the Mu family army, aside from Muyuan himself, only recognizes me, the eldest miss in name. Of course it is not my ability. It is the empire my mother, who died young, fought for. This is also why in my past life, Li Zai only dared to make Mu Yiqing his official wife after he became emperor. Now that their number has been exposed, forced by the situation, he can only marry Mu Yiqing, and in this way, he won't be able to get the full support of the Mu family's army. For someone like Li Zai, who is wholeheartedly set on becoming emperor, this is undoubtedly a fatal blow, and when this news gets out, the person Li Zai is most likely to suspect is also Mu Yiqing. With these two, each with their own ulterior motives, together, there is going to be a good show to watch in the coming days. Speak of the devil, Li Zier arrived unusually fast. By the time I saw clearly, he was already kneeling in front of Muyuan. Uncle Mu, it is my fault, but I truly like Xiao. I have already obtained an imperial edict for marriage from my father, the emperor. I beg you, Uncle Mu, to marry both of your daughters to me. I will definitely take good care of them. I was amazed at Li Zai's thick skin, and at the same time I was worried about the imperial edict in his hands. If the imperial edict for marriage really has my name on it, then I'll really have to walk the same old path as my previous life. Just as the two sides were at a stalemate, a familiar voice came from nearby. Imperial brother, you should just focus on taking good care of your little sister, in-law, and the child in her belly. As for the eldest young miss, you don't need to trouble yourself with her. The man before me was dressed in a moon, white robe holding a folding fan in his hand, with a faint smile playing on his lips. I admit this face is good-looking, but isn't this that no, it, all who was sitting in the shop, the man bowed properly. Hello, General Mu. Muyuan's furrowed brow instantly smoothed out. Second prince, what brings you here? I didn't hear a single word of what followed. Isn't this Bai Xiaosheng? How did he become the second prince? Then I even asked him to spread my own family's scandal. Isn't this purely courting death? Imperial brother, I just went to beg Father Emperor, and Father Emperor personally issued an edict betrothing the Mu family's eldest daughter, Mu Xiaoxiao, to me as my wife. Li Ziqi's words were astonishing. Nonsense, Father Emperor has already personally issued an edict to grant me a marriage. How could he betroth Xiaoxiao to someone else? Li Zai fumbled to open the imperial edict. I wouldn't have known if I hadn't looked, but it was a real surprise. On the imperial edict was clearly Mu Yiqing's name. Li Zai collapsed and sat on the spot. Xiaoxiao, you take Ziqi for a walk in the courtyard first. Come back at dinner time. I understood that Mu Yuan wanted to send me away to deal with Mu Yiqing's matter, and I was happy to be free. Okay, Daddy, second prince, this way, please. I don't know if my eyes were playing tricks on me or what, but in a daze I saw a flash of cunning in Li Ziqi's eyes. Gradually moving away from the main hall, I stood in place, ready to get straight to the point. Second prince, for someone of your noble status to go to an information shop and pretend to be Bai Xiaosheng, you really have a lot of free time. Li Ziqi wasn't angry either. Eldest miss, what do you mean pretend? I am Bai Xiaosheng himself, and I handled the matter you entrusted to me beautifully, didn't I? Then I thank the second prince here. No need to be so polite. Second prince, about the bestowed marriage you just mentioned, were you joking? Of course not. I really want to take you as my wife. I froze on the spot. This is just one problem after another. I am deeply grateful that the second prince is willing to help, but this small favor is not enough for me to marry you in return. I knew you'd say that. What if I can help you take down Li Zai and Mu Yiqing? Li Ziqi came closer and spoke next to my ear. In my memory from my past life, I didn't have many memories of Li Ziqi, and I had never met this legendary second prince. I only knew that he was always traveling, never got involved in the struggle for imperial power, and was eventually exiled to the frontier, where he died in a foreign land. The second prince in this life doesn't seem to be like he was in the rumors. Second prince, you are joking. Brother Zai and I are childhood sweethearts. Of course I hope he does better and better. Yiqing is my younger sister, so of course I also hope she'll be happy. Xiaoxiao, do you really think so? Wasn't even the poisoned wine from Li Ziye enough to make you come to your senses? Hearing this, my body started to tremble uncontrollably. Why would Li Ziqi know about my fate? Could it be? Li Ziqi, did you also come back from the dead? Although it is absurd, it is true. How did you know that I am too? The Mu Xiaoxiao from the past life didn't have the ruthlessness to leak the news of her sister's unexpected pregnancy. She would only curl up under the covers and cry by herself. I gave a couple of awkward coughs. What Li Ziqi said was harsh, but it was also the truth. You don't have to put it so harshly. I am not that much of a wimp. Living a second life, you have to fight for your own life, don't you? Mu Xiaoxiao, the heart. Wrenching pain after drinking the wine was fresh in my memory, and I agreed without hesitation. I can promise you, but let's be clear first. When this is all over, we'll get a divorce. Okay. I held out my hand to make a pinky promise with Li Ziqi, expecting him to find it childish and refuse, but surprisingly, he was very cooperative. Mu Xiaoxiao, I will choose an auspicious day to come and marry you. Then I shall await you here. For the sake of Mu Yiqing's pregnancy, Li Ziye had no choice but to hastily pick a date to marry her. A few days later, I was met with Li Ziqi's grand bridal sedan and became the second prince's consort. Before leaving, my father gave me the token that could mobilize the Mu family's army. He said it was my mother's last wish that if I ever faced a crisis, the Mu family's army could protect me. I kept the token close to my body, knowing that in this life there would definitely be a time when I would need it. Less than 2 months after Mu Yiqing gave birth, the former emperor passed away. Strangely, the imperial edict and the imperial seal were never found. According to tradition, Li Ziye could have ascended the throne smoothly. But now that the imperial edict and the imperial seal couldn't be found, his claim as emperor was not legitimate. I changed my clothes to go and meet Li Ziqi. In the tea house, Li Ziqi, dressed all in white, exuded an air of nobility with his every move. I sat down across from him. You seem to really like white. Li Ziqi's hand paused while pouring tea. I thought you'd ask about Li Ziyi first. That is what I was going to ask next. The imperial edict and the jade seal. How did you get them? As a royal son, if he, Li Ziyi, can place his men by Father Emperor's side, why can't I? That makes some sense. The name on the imperial edict, is it Li Ziyi's? If I were to say it is mine, would you believe me? Of course I would. Is it for revenge, or do you genuinely think I am a man of good character? From our interactions these past days, I've discovered that the second prince is more suited to be emperor. For this country to be stable, it needs a person like the second prince. That is not the truth. I cursed inwardly. This guy is really a handful. The second prince's character is outstanding. At least he wouldn't grant me a cup of poisoned wine after ascending the throne. Li Ziqi showed a satisfied smile. Naturally, my lady must, of course, be doted on. I ignored his jest, picked up my teacup, and drained it. Is there anything you need my help with next? No need. You just need to happily wait and watch the show. I gave Li Ziqi a thumbs up. I really didn't choose the wrong person to partner with. Li Ziyi acted quickly, even without the imperial edict and the jade seal. He pulled many strings and still successfully ascended the throne. And the first thing he did after taking the throne was to enfeff off Li Ziqi as the Prince of Nanyang, to depart for his fiefdom immediately. Nanyang is desolate and rarely visited, which shows Li Ziyi's intentions. However, he didn't allow Li Ziqi to take me along. I think he still hasn't given up on the Mu family army that I can mobilize. After all, with his current illegitimate position, it is hard to persuade Mu Yan to follow him. I brought the token to find Li Ziqi. You can't go to the fiefdom. He has already set a trap waiting for you to fall into. Now that he has nothing, why don't we take a gamble? I'll use this military power to help you take the throne. I didn't expect my lady to care about me so much. Actually, I don't need a single soldier to take him down. Right now, the most powerful minister in the court is Prime Minister Shen. He is my man. The biggest trouble right now is actually General Mu. He is your father, and also Mu Yiqing's father, if something really happened. Li Ziqi didn't continue, but I was very clear about the rest. It is nothing more than a father wanting to protect his daughter, using his military power to protect his small family. If that is the case, it will be a huge obstacle for Li Ziqi to win the throne. Could I trouble my husband to take me home? I have some things I need to discuss with my father in person. If you don't want to, you don't have to go. I can protect your father's life. If it can be solved without anyone dying, why not go? Li Ziqi said no more, and ordered his attendants to prepare a carriage for me. As soon as I entered the main gate, I heard Jiangru arrogantly scolding the servants. I tactfully avoided her and turned to walk towards the study. Mu Yuan was practicing calligraphy. Daughter pays her respects to father. Xiaoxiao, why are you back? You didn't even say anything in advance. Daughter has come today because there is a matter to discuss with father. What is it? Tell me. Daughter implores father not to assist Li Ziyi. His virtue does not match his position. He is not fit to be the emperor. The brush in Mu Yuan's hand fell onto the Xuan paper, smudging a large pool of ink. Xiaoxiao, do you know what you are saying? Of course I know. I want to ask you, father, an emperor who took the throne without an edict or the imperial seal, who would marry a woman he doesn't love for power, and who rushed to be enthroned before the 100-day mourning period for his own father was over. Can he truly sit securely on this throne? These are matters of the court. You just need to live your life in peace. But Daddy, your daughter can't escape from this matter. He issued an edict for Ziqi to go to his fiefdom, but won't let your daughter go with him. Let me ask you, Daddy, what is his intention? Yiqing is already the empress now. Why does he still want to detain your daughter here in the capital? Mu Yuan sat on the chair, lost in thought. It was unknown what he was thinking about. Not only that, Daddy, according to what your daughter knows, the successor on that imperial edict is not Li Zai. What did you say? Daddy, you didn't hear wrong. The successor named in the late emperor's last edict is not Li Ziqi. Daddy is at the imperial court every day, so you must be very clear whose man Prime Minister Shen is. Now, he is trying everything he can to grasp your weakness and get the military power in your hands. You have no evidence for any of this. The evidence will be delivered tonight. Your daughter took the liberty of submitting a resignation letter on your behalf. By now, Li Zai has probably already received your petition to retire and return to your hometown. Mu Yuan sat on the stool looking at me, and only after a long while did he slowly start to speak. I've always worried that you don't like interacting with people, dislike scheming, and would suffer for it in the future. But now it seems you have more than enough ability to protect yourself. I gave a bitter laugh. Having been reborn, if I still didn't even have this much sense, then I deserve to die all over again. Daddy, you jest. The evidence will be delivered to you tonight when that happens. I hope you can make a rational choice. After I finished speaking, I left the study and returned to my own small courtyard. I've only been married for a few months, but this courtyard is already overgrown with weeds, and the room is covered in dust. This courtyard was personally decorated for me by my mother before she passed away. What a pity after tidying up hastily. I took the jewelry I used to wear as a child and left. As night fell, the gate of the Mu residence was ablaze with torchlight. Li Ziqi and I sat in a tea house, watching everything that was about to unfold. Just as we guessed, Li Zai chose to take it by force. Too bad he never knew. The Mu family army has always recognized people. Watching as Li Zai's blade was held to my own father's neck, I couldn't sit still any longer. The show is about over. It is your turn to get on stage. Then let's go together. Seeing me and Li Ziqi appear, Li Zai's face became ferocious. How are you here? Didn't I issue an edict for you to depart immediately? Royal brother, you are in such a hurry to send me away. Is it because you want to rely on the Mu family army to win the approval of the imperial court? What nonsense are you talking about? I am the crown prince. It is a matter of course that I inherit the throne. Father Emperor has been dissatisfied with you for a long time and has long had the idea of deposing you. Stop your alarmist talk here. Someone, see the Prince of Nanyang out. Royal brother, you haven't even secured your throne yet, but you've already learned the whole business of ordering people around. Since you don't want to leave, then just stay here. Don't worry, I'll announce to the world that the Prince of Nanyang died on the battlefield. A vicious glint flashed in Li Zai's eyes. Imperial brother, are you planning to silence me? I just wonder if you have what it takes. As soon as his voice fell, Chancellor Shen led his men to surround the Mu mansion. Two forces were entrenched here, and Mu Yuan's Mu family army became the biggest variable in the situation. Father-in-law Yi Qing and the child are still in the palace waiting for me to return. Father-in-law should know what to do next, right? Li Zai directly voiced a threat. This attitude was exactly what I wanted, because I knew very well that as a general, the one thing Mu Yuan hated most in his life was being threatened. Your Majesty, you are now the son of heaven. Why must you make things difficult for a mere subject like me? Mu Yuan was unmoved, saying the word son of heaven flippantly. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Mu Yuan really knows how to be sarcastic. Everyone knows that Li Zai has no imperial edict and no imperial seal. His claim to the throne is not legitimate. Since father-in-law is so unable to see the situation clearly, then I shall help you make this decision. Guards, escort General Mu into the palace. Imperial brother, is this move perhaps improper? Oh, I'd forgotten about you. Since the Prince of Nanyang finds it improper, then let's all return to the palace together. Imperial brother, I am returning to the palace, but not with you. Prime Minister Shen read the imperial edict. Prime Minister Shen took out a bright yellow silk cloth from his sleeve. The The contents were short and clear: depose Li Zai of his status as crown prince, and have Li Ziqi inherit the throne instead. Li Zai became a bit unhinged after seeing the edict. Ha ha ha. Such treacherous rebels, daring to forge the late emperor's edict. Guards, seize them. Li Ziqi unhurriedly took out the imperial seal. The succession seal is here. I'd like to see who dares. With the imperial edict and the imperial seal appearing at the same time, plus the prime minister's endorsement, who was right and who was wrong was clear at a glance. Li Zai was still making his final struggle. Father-in-law, help me. Chingar and the child are still in the palace waiting for me to return. I can't fail. I am begging you, father-in-law. Mu Yuan was unmoved and turned to walk towards Li Ziqi. With the new emperor ascending the throne, this humble servant is willing to hand over the military power of the Mu family to help you, and only asks to be able to protect the lives of my family, old and young. The situation was clear. Li Ziqi collapsed weakly on the ground. His last trump card was gone. I looked at Mu Yuan kneeling in front of Li Ziqi, and suddenly wanted to ask a question. Father, if it were me who was trapped in the palace today, would you have chosen differently? Mu Yuan gave me a deep look. Xiao, the Mu family army was left to you by your mother. Their greatest mission is to protect you. I suddenly understood why in my past life, even though I didn't get the Mu family army, Li Ziqi could still ascend the throne smoothly. Father, I will spare Mu Yiqing and the child's lives, but I need to ask her some things first. After I am done asking, I will naturally let her return to her residence. Mu Yuan agreed and stood to the side. I'll have to trouble Imperial Brother to make a trip with my attendants. Li Ziqi didn't look back at Li Ziqi even once. I got on my horse and rode back towards the Imperial Palace. I wanted to find out if Mu Yiqing really hated me. Perhaps the commotion outside the palace was too big. Mu Yiqing already knew Li Zai had failed, and was preparing to escape with the child in her arms, just in time to run into me entering the palace. Where is my little sister going? You are here. My little sister doesn't seem surprised. Nothing surprising. The winner becomes the king, and the loser is the bandit. I came today to ask my younger sister a few questions, and I hope you can clear up my confusion. Go ahead. I ask myself. From childhood to adulthood, I have never done anything to wrong you. I don't know why you hate me so much. I don't. Mu Yiqing's eyes darted away. Since it has come to this, just say it directly. I will naturally protect you and the child. I thought I didn't reveal any flaws. How did you see through it? Mu Yiqing finally stopped pretending. I thought for a long time but couldn't come up with a suitable reason. After all, I can't tell her I know because I've died once. Mu Yiqing ignored me and continued speaking on her own. My mother is a commandery princess, much nobler in birth than your mother. Naturally, my status should also be higher than yours. Yet I can only be the second young lady of the general's mansion. I've liked Zaye since I was little, but he told me long ago that his legal wife could only be you. I am not convinced. I didn't listen to the rest of what she said, so all the hatred was just because of her love. Mu Yiqing, it is not wrong for you to love Li Zai, and it is not wrong to want to be his legal wife. But have you ever thought about whether this man is worth your devotion? You gave yourself to him early on, yet he wants to marry another for power. You are in the palace with the child you had with him, while he is outside the palace with a sword, forcing your own father to hand over military power. Is this the man you like? Stop slandering Zai here. He said he loves me. He only loves me. I laughed at myself mockingly. I thought it was some deep-seated hatred, but it turns out she is just a love-struck fool with a bad heart. I ignored Mu Yiqing, who was shouting where she stood, and turned to walk out of the palace. Now that the knot in my heart is untied, I am going to find the person who gave me the poison and get my revenge. It didn't take much effort to find Li Zai. In the dark and damp dungeon, Li Zai sat on the ground in his imperial robes. He snorted coldly when he saw me arrive. What are you doing here to laugh at me? Li Zai, have you ever had any regrets? I thought I would send him to his death cleanly and efficiently, but when it really came to this moment, I still wanted to ask a few more questions. Regret what? Regret being blinded by power. Regret scheming against everyone. Regret killing me. Li Zai was slightly taken aback. You are standing here perfectly fine. When did I kill you? I smiled. It was indeed impossible to explain to him. Then do you regret doing all of this? No regrets as a ruler. One must naturally give up some things. Li Zai's attitude was firm. I suddenly remembered when we were very young. Li Zai would always secretly bring me pastries from the palace, telling me that he would give me all the delicious food in the future. One more question. Do you truly love Yi Qing? I guess so. She is always passionate towards me and does whatever I say. Unlike you, who always acts as if I am dispensable. With a sense of understanding, I left the dungeon, leaving a bottle of poison at Li Zai's feet. In my previous life, I wholeheartedly wanted to be a good wife to Li Zai, trying my best not to be jealous and to be as generous as possible. I never expected that what Li Zai actually liked was the type who gets jealous and is clingy. Just as I walked into Li Ziqi's palace, I heard an attendant report that Li Zai was dead. Li Ziqi and I looked at each other from afar, and he spoke first. You are the one who gave it to him, right? What goes around comes around. You've gotten your great revenge. I took a few steps closer. Yes, things are finally completely over. Congratulations to the new emperor on his ascension. So, are you leaving? Now that things are settled, I ask your majesty to grant me a divorce and let me go see the sights I've never seen before. Do you really have nothing left to hold you here? I looked at Li Ziqi's face, feeling a bit hesitant. During our time together recently, I deeply felt Li Ziqi's concern and care for me, but I couldn't be sure if it was his pity or just his good character, or perhaps that he liked me. Whatever you want to say, just say it directly. I don't want to divorce you, could you? Give me a chance. I was stunned for a moment, not expecting that Li Ziqi actually meant it. I pretended to be aloof, turned around and put my hands behind my back. The new emperor's ascension naturally means filling the harem. I won't. I will dismiss the 6 palaces and abolish the system of selecting concubines. I was greatly shocked. This was not an easy thing to do. Would your majesty allow me some time to consider? I want to go out for a walk first. What if I don't allow it? You can trap me in the harem, but I will never love you. Still so heartless. Forget it. Then I'll travel with you. A perfect chance to see this country I conquered for you. I couldn't keep up the act anymore and laughed out loud. Then thank you very much, your majesty. No need for thanks, just bear more airs for me. I knew Li Ziqi was teasing me, so I ignored him and walked straight out of the palace gate. In this life, I have freedom and someone who loves me. Life will surely be a different kind of scene.